Hi everyone, welcome back to Successpedia Asia's Journey to Success Resilience series. And today, who do we have here? We have our dear Mr. David Chua from National Youth Council, CEO of National Youth Council Singapore. Hi, David.
Hi everyone. Hi Desmond.
Yeah, so a little bit about David. I'm not going to introduce David, okay? I think I shall leave that part to him. Yeah, but maybe before we start with David's introduction, we hope every one of you can like and share our videos and our live streaming. That we are trying to create an environment whereby we have all the entrepreneurs and every individual that can inspire and try to motivate in this downtime during the COVID-19 situation. So please do support our channel. We have more contents coming up to you, more guests coming up, I think 20 over episodes. So without further ado, let me hand the time to David. David, do you mind sharing a bit about yourself?
Okay, hello again everyone, and thanks for taking time to listen to us. Just a little bit about me. I have been with the National Youth Council now for the last 5 years, and it's been an exciting time. Youth trends are always changing, and that keeps me on my feet. Also because young people have a lot of energy, so I hope to stay young at heart as I interact with all the young people I come across. Before that, I spent just about 20 over years with the Singapore Armed Forces. So quite a different environment, but also interacting with young soldiers. And so that was a different world. Many of the things we do in the government today are still related in a way of how we do things in a structured and processed way. So it's been a good learning journey for me. There are some things I can port over from my previous life, but some things are also quite different. And then with the current situation, actually, business is not as usual anymore. Everything is quite different. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're just happy to join you and just share stories and to also encourage one another.
Yeah, great. Okay, so sorry, let me just.
Not at all.
Anyway,
and while Desmond is trying to flash some things up, I think
this is you, right?
Yes,
is that your cat? Is that your cat?
It is my cat. We have had her for about 6 months now. I have 4 kids, so the 4 kids, I mean, I try to keep up with them, but I think they need things to occupy them. So one of the things was they've been always asking for a pet. At first, we maybe thought fish or a small tortoise, and we thought, okay, cat can take care of itself a lot more. So we have a cat with us. It's been giving us quite a bit of fun and joy.
And especially this stay-home period, right?
Yes. So very good company. We're all kept inside at home.
All right, great. Okay, so now we let us go into our topic proper. So we're just wondering, now in this whole situation in Singapore and in fact the global pandemic situation, just what thoughts do you have about the current COVID? What opinions do you have?
Okay. Well, first of all, I mean, from a personal standpoint, as a normal citizen, I guess when we all started the whole thing, there was a bit more optimism because we thought the situation was under good control. But I guess when measures start to become stricter, there was a bit of anxiety. But then sometimes you feel a bit of hope, and then sometimes you still feel okay, but sometimes you slip back into a bit of anger when you think things are a bit overdone or people are now watching each other. So it's a roller coaster of emotions on a personal basis. But I can tell you from where we sit in the government, this is not a trivial time. Things need to be. We all need to pull together. This is a very critical phase. So if you are not careful, all the efforts will be unraveled. And so we do a lot of scenario planning. We're looking at the possibilities, and we're just all too aware that it can shift to a very much more severe situation if we all each don't play our part. So I think that's that's the bigger awareness that all of us as private citizens and
Mm-mm.
individuals we should have. No doubt it's going to be tough. Like I said, there's always a roller coaster of emotions and
Yep.
learning to cope with it. But if we don't pull our weight and we don't do our part, it will go out of hand. So I think that helps me to enforce discipline on myself and
Uh-huh.
onto my family also, because
Right, right.
it's just a little bit. You will say, yeah, never mind lah, just a bit only lah. This, yeah, 5 minutes lah. What can happen, right? So
Yeah,
I
you
just
mean
think we need to
going
be on our
out
guard.
for 5 minutes
Yeah,
and everything, right?
exactly. Not saying you can't go out. The government isn't in total lockdown, and I don't think we intend to. But we want
Mm-mm.
everybody to exercise precautions on a
Right.
personal basis, and as a responsible part of community, as a responsible citizen. So
Mm.
everybody matters. We are all in this. This is a war. So I said I was from the SAF before.
Yes,
It is a war. So when it's a
it is.
war, your sense of awareness have to be much more heightened. You have to be on your guard. So actually
Mm.
now is the time to be on our guard. It's not to feel upset and let down your guard and try and complain. You have to
Right.
be on your guard now. So that's how I try to convince myself and to stay in line, stay focused on the mission.
Yeah, yeah. Like, okay, so as of what you have mentioned, staying in line and with all the measures that the government has been rolling in
Mm.
Singapore gradually, and being very social media savvy, there are a lot of times we see the keyboard warriors complaining and saying that the government is not doing enough, so and so, that this is not good. Why lockdown? Why did we not stop the influx of foreigners? All this in the first place, Yeah, but at the same time, we know that your National Youth Council has actually have some statistics to show on how
Yes.
people are supportive. I think that is stats that is stronger than what we see generally online.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So just
maybe can you
to
elaborate on that?
reinforce the point, so as you see on the statistic there, actually close to 90% of the general public, and in this case the youth population, are all very supportive of the measures, and they're all prepared to adhere to the measures at the cost of personal inconvenience and disruption. So we are all too aware that there are online sentiments that can get amplified sometimes by the media and also on social media. But we do know that the large majority are, like I said, pulling their weight also, very conscious about this and all wanting to do their part. And I think that goes for the general public. So, of course, you will see a few instances and of cases where there are bad examples, but we shouldn't allow that to override what the rest of us are doing. And so we should continue encouraging one another. So I'm quite heartened to see that young people in general, and these are very recent polls, and these are sample sizes of more than 1,000, and
Mm-mm.
we track all the way. So this is not based on 2 people interview, 3 people interviews, and sometimes you see that kind of content going online, being
Yes, yes,
amplified.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but these are much more consistent results. So I'm actually quite confident to say a majority of Singaporean youth and citizens, uh, they all have the right attitude, and I'm
Mm.
encouraged to say that. So I want to encourage everybody out there, if you're seeing that, where majority of us are okay, we are towing the line, and we're all in it and fighting together. So don't let the few voices sway and discourage you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I mean, of course, at the
Yes.
National Youth Council, we are rolling out content, reminding people, because I guess, 1 week in, things were like, cannot tahan already. So we're telling you
Mm-mm.
that, yeah, don't slip up, don't be the weak link, persevere. And then, of course, we try and inject humor here and there. So there's a picture that I
we,
just
we, we want you to
play
stay
with
home.
for fun. Yeah. So we do want you to stay home. Not that you can go out if necessary to do the
Yep.
essentials, but by
Mm-hmm.
and large, stay home and fight. Help us in the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for myself as well, when we need to buy the groceries, when we run out of food, we still have to go. But as much as we try not to, we will adhere to whatever the strict measures for the circuit breaker.
Yeah,
And hey, David,
uh,
yeah, do you know how much do you know about the recent? Okay, I don't know. This is just rumors. There are drones flying around already, right, in the parks and everything.
yeah.
Have you heard of that? You know,
Yeah, it's
does,
true.
does, does it remind you, and I think for the viewers as well, does it remind you of the those movies where they have drones flying around, then they say, stay home, stay home, stay home.
Okay lah. Uh, we are employing technology to help us monitor, but it's not employing technology to track down citizens and all that. It's
Right.
employing technology so that you have a sense of what the congregation patterns at different times are like. So then you can advise the public. Because we have all these websites telling you what the concentration levels of people are in hawker centers, in our malls, in the public parks.
Yep.
So it helps people make informed decisions. So like, for example, myself, if I want to go and run, generally now I'll tend to run in the hot afternoons, because based on what the drones are picking out in the information and what MParks is putting on the site, you know that during hot hours less people run. So I will adjust my behavior. So if you don't mind running the heat, you can. So
Right.
the technology is there to help people make choices, not to be law enforcement devices. So yeah, they're not going to like track you and say, "Oi, please get off, go home." No lah. I
I
don't think
see, I
that's the
see.
intent. Yeah, I
So
don't think
so
we
so
operate like.
right. So that's where a lot of the our citizens and the Singaporeans, they have gotten the wrong idea that, oh my goodness, the drones are here to find us, and then after that take our pictures, and then after that, no, right? So
No,
it's to
no.
send the information to them where is the congregation and where we should avoid if you want to
Yes.
do certain activities.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we also understand human behaviors, and I can understand how Singaporeans interpret it like that, because we are quite used to all these laws and things to enforce. So yes, there are things there to help enforce and to keep people in check also.
Yes.
But these things are not there to hunt you down, like I said. These things are there so that there's information that we can put out there to help people make good choices. Yeah.
Right.
So sometimes on these WhatsApp groups, there are all this information coming out. Oh, you can surface complaints to the One Service app on. No, that is false news, by the way. So if you are seeing this circulating, that was not put out by the government. It's not intended to be that way. There is a function on One Service to take in feedback and in general, but it's not meant for this kind of situation, like COVID
Right.
complaints and all that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
But
so
I just wanted to add too, that even while we go through all this, actually, periods like this are important for the country. So here is another thought, that don't just focus on dealing with the crisis only, because a crisis like this serves a few things. It builds you, it builds faith in the community and society, it builds resilience.
yes.
And most of all, actually, it gives us opportunities for change. So it's a time for us to increase faith in ourselves and our fellow human beings, even in your own God, in your religion. It's a time to build resilience amongst ourselves, in our communities, national resilience. And also it's a time to take the opportunity to change things for the better. Throw your usual traditional playbook out, whether it's for businesses or for the government, even the way that we do things. So actually, crisis like that, there is a silver lining
Yes.
and an opportunity only if you choose to see it also.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Actually,
I just
this was
yeah.
totally agree. If this was something that Kent of Invade and I we discussed yesterday as well. So there's this silver lining that unites a lot of people during this period of time. When during this crisis, and it really gives us that joy of seeing this unity. But yet at the same time, we know that we want this pandemic to go away. But when it goes away, what's next? Is this unity going to stay, or is it going to be dissolved? You
Yep.
know, yeah. So that's something that we worry about. All right, talking about the youths and talking about all this, we have the next question coming up, which
Sure.
is
Is there anybody online that has a question or anything?
uh so far no. Yeah, viewers,
Okay.
please feel free to ask
Yeah.
questions. David is here to answer your question about the youths, what have the youths have been doing and stuff. Feel free to engage us, please. We love the engagement, so don't be shy. All right. Yep, David. So, being in the youth sector, how do you think our youth have performed in the battle against the invisible enemy?
Well, I would describe it as three R's. I think, as I mentioned before, I think young people are being responsible. So I'm heartened to let you know that, yeah, they are all helping in a fight and doing their part. But the other part is that I see young people being relevant to the situation in two ways. One is they are helping out the community. So in the situation before the circuit breaker measures kicked in, there were a lot of volunteers going out. Here is a picture of a youth corps volunteer appreciating healthcare workers at the MRT station. If you go to the next picture, also you have people helping out at Willing Hearts, for example, doing food preparation and distribution. Uh, we also have a lot of ground up youth coming out. On the right side, you see a picture of a young person, Shobana, who's been working with foreign workers. Uh, she's working with this group to help them, not just in this situation. So pre-COVID, she was working, building relationships with them, helping them with their life situations. Currently, she's still keeping in touch with them through WhatsApp and phone call. And helping them get through this, because for the foreign workers, it's not just about the community spread. Actually, they are all rather scared right now. There's a lot of uncertainty that they feel. You think you feel uncertain, there's a lot more for them. They have their families overseas. They also don't know how the families overseas are coping. They are also here trying to cope.
Right.
We are also relocating some of them. So there's a lot of disruption to them as well. And I think
Right.
I am heartened to see young people stepping up to help out and to do what they can. So they're also helping other organizations distribute food to the families with special needs or low income. I have young staff in Outward Bound Singapore doing quarantine operations as we speak. So we have about close to 100 in our quarantine facility, and they're also working around the clock. I have staff on the ground as social distancing ambassadors, together with thousands of other public servants, all doing what they can. So I think, like everybody else in the public service is also just trying to stay relevant, and we are stepping out of our usual job scopes. And at the same time,
This
go ahead.
outward bound thing, this is in the morning. This just today, right? Is it?
No, this was a picture taken about a month ago.
A month ago.
We were activated as a government quarantine facility, but
Ah.
but it's still ongoing. It will be going on for as long as the national situation requires. So even as we speak, we have about 80 to 90 persons under quarantine in our facilities that we monitor, and
Right.
and we're also probably stepping up to help out with the foreign worker situation. So there's a lot of things that normally not in our work scope, but where we are needed, we step up. And I can say the general public and the general youth out there too, where they can, they're stepping up. I know most of the young people also are under pressure by their parents and all to stay at home. And yes, it's okay. You can still also support from home. So there are many things that we might be pushing out to you in terms of helping us to get some work done, but from your home, whether it's creating content or whether it's liaising, or whether it's all types of content creation. So Desmond, like yourself, creating content and putting out there to keep people's spirits uplifted. These are things that are important.
Thank you.
Young people staying relevant to the situation for the country. And then actually young people staying relevant to the situation by reinventing what they do.
Mm.
So, for example, like Youth Music Awards that we held at Escape. Usually, it's a big uh,
Event
ceremony,
live, right?
physical,
Yeah,
yes.
physical. Yeah.
But they over, I think within a matter of a week, they transited into a live online format, and
Wow.
then they had to curate a show lah. So it's basically curate a streaming show. So I think our young people are quite adaptable and very flexible in how to redo things if they put their
Mm-mm.
mind to it. And I'm heartened to see that. Also seeing young people trying to find to make this time to learn something, acquire skill, knowledge. And I think that's important. I know based on our surveys and our understanding too that there's a lot of uncertainty facing about soon to graduate students,
Yep.
also some of the youth freelancers out there. Uh, but I'm also heartened to see that there's a desire to learn a language, learn a new skill, uh, learn a new competency so that you are ready and relevant for the next step once we're out of this situation.
Yep.
So I think it's good that you are pivoting and innovating in this period. So continue to stay relevant and I think that's actually fundamentally important in the days ahead. The last one I guess is young people staying resolute. So I know they are strong in spirit right now,
Mm.
but there is a statistic going on which I want to share also that
Oh, yes.
2/3, yeah, 2/3 of young people are are feeling that they are able to cope with the circuit breaker measures, but 83% are feeling that their mental well-being will be impacted lah, in the near future.
Yep. This is the graph.
Yes. Yeah. So you see the blue and the red statistics. I think they're quite well aware that mentally and socially, emotionally, they will feel some impact. And there are three areas that they're feeling it from, mainly from about what the future holds. So future uncertainty.
Mm.
You also said that financial stress is something that's weighing on them. So I guess for those about to enter the workforce and those that are working and those who are freelancing or gig workers, this is an area of concern. And then
Yep.
generally across the board, whether there's an ability to meet their daily needs, access to things, to essentials, and things that also keep you sane. Yeah.
Yes.
So a high proportion of young people, 8 in 10, basically, are aware that their mental well-being will be impacted. And I think this is an area that we probably need to focus on,
Mm-mm.
not later, but start preparing now, because 2 or 3 weeks in, you are going to feel the effects. And we're already hearing the cases from other countries, whether it's to do with the family environment or marriages, uh, and even you are hearing reports in the elderly space about them trying to get by every day because now they can't go out. Actually, a
Yep.
huge dimension of their life is affected. So
Yes.
no different for the young people as well. So for all citizens, this is a key concern. And I think for the Youth Council and across government, we're going to be looking into this area uh, as soon as possible. In fact, we already are. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great. So I think there was also a point that I want to bring up is that not just the youth, but this is a ripple effect eventually. Adults, people who are facing, they might be uh, removed from their work. They have no jobs. Then and businesses that are struggling, that have failed, and these parents will eventually become so stressed that they will bring the stress back home, which eventually will lead to their children, which is the youth. And maybe some of the youth may not see it, or even some of the teenagers. They are because I used to be in the education force, so I know that a lot of teenagers they have this. They may not be very close to their parents, or they may not communicate with their parents in a certain way, but emotionally they are linked. So when the parents go through some depression or stress, eventually the kids will be affected. And then how these youths actually manage it. So there's so many things that, like what you said, the ripple effect, so many things. The kids on the youths on their own, and then the youths having to face the challenges their parents are facing, bringing it back home and stuff. So yeah, we hope the viewers, if you see this, do be aware and highlight to maybe IMH or relevant agencies that can step in to help. If you see someone going through depression or facing depression, they might be suicidal. We need to alert the relevant parties early lah. Is what I feel. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, David. Now next will be our viewers are quiet today. I think maybe it's Saturday. They might be still sleeping.
Probably.
Or
It is
probably,
okay.
right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So for any specific movement or things that caught your attention or impressed you, what do I mean by this? It could be from the National Youth Council, or it could be from other government. I mean, I think just now you mentioned a lot about the youth that has been doing things. How about other parts, other initiatives that has happened?
Well, I see quite a few efforts in the online space. For example, I'm sure all of you probably have already heard about the I am circuit breaker champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
very wrong, but
Yeah. So, I mean, efforts like this are useful in putting together a go-to list of how to encourage one another. Also, where some of the services are, and also where some of the good entertainment and stress relief content can be. So initiatives like this are useful, and all this is ground up. I mean, I know who did it. It was done by Tribal. So I give a shout out to Jeff and his team. I think that was well done. They did it completely as a ground up movement to help Singaporeans. I see the arts community also trying to put content together. I also see in the public's, content together to share with the public free, and I see them doing it in innovative ways. I see ground up groups, citizens from all kinds on their own coming together to put songs, a cappella parts together to uplift the community and just sharing out the space. And I think that is key. I am also particularly encouraged by things like doing the clapping at 8 p.m. to appreciate our healthcare workers.
Yes.
Yeah, I think little things like that actually, although they don't seem they seem more spontaneous, but actually these are things that people remember, and these are things that can unite us even while we're like physically apart. And I think we should do more of that. We just read an article in the New York Times, I think, where they only remember two things right now. One is the sirens going off 24/7, and the other one is people clapping every day at 7 p.m. to encourage each other and to encourage the healthcare workers and the frontliners. So movements like that. So for us, I see all the National Day songs all being rehashed, right? And I think that's great.
Yes.
I think that's great. Yeah. So keep doing that, Singaporeans, and that is what I'm impressed by. But the other thing I'm impressed by is by our own government, our public service. I know I'm government, but I am impressed by what my colleagues are doing across the ministries. They are working so hard to integrate all the services, rolling out the technology to help citizens make choices, informed choices, access the help, all the budget measures that were announced, how to make sense of it, how to access it quickly and qualify for it fast. We are green laning. That means we are making it easier to apply and get all these grants and help that you need also. So there's a lot of innovation going on, and I'm actually impressed by everyone's spirit. So that speaks to the spirit of innovation and resilience that goes on. It takes a crisis to draw it out, and so it is lah. So this is what I'm heartened by. Yeah, that catches my attention and impresses me.
I think I really second you, which is the things that the government has been rolling out and everything. But of course, there are definitely small pockets of people that falls through the gap. But the heartening thing is that our government is not just rolling it out; they are listening. They are listening. Like, for example, there's a group of business owners recently just registered as directors, or we own the business, but we are as directors, and they don't fall into the category of self-employed in a certain way, because directors are considered employees. And instead of a group was formed by Nicholas, right?
Yes, I know Nicholas.
I know Nicholas, right? Yeah, he's supposed to come online and say hi to you, but he didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Never mind, we go and meow him later, okay? So, but yeah, so our voices are being heard. There were private response, individual response through maybe email by our ministers back to people who inquire and ask about all this. So we know that the government is definitely listening and not just rolling things out blindly. Everything, like what you said, planned. They are working so hard at the back of the end.
Yeah. I think what heartens me is the partnership. So I see a good partnership between citizens and government to help those that fall through the cracks, solutioning together. And I think that's a spirit we want to carry on post-COVID, that sense of partnership that we come together to solve each other's problems and solve problems for the rest of the community. So, our DPM talk about SG Together. Actually, this is SG Together, just accelerated by the current situation, that's all. But it's great. I think, so like I said before, I think there's good that can come out of this if we pull together. There are other things I also wish for, I guess, in this period as we go into the second week of the circuit breaker, to be forgiving also. So I note that when things happen and people like react and we like, why like that? Why this one? Last time. So let's be forgiving towards one another. Also, I would encourage us, as we go out to do our exercise and do our social distancing, be friendly. Have a smile to one another. Don't like, walao, you don't run in my slipstream, or I don't want stay far away. Yeah, I mean, yes, we practice that, but let's encourage one another. Have a smile and say hello, and from a distance, and it keeps us all a bit more positive, lah.
Yeah.
So be forgiving and be friendly as we go through this period. Let's not forget that.
Yep. So, David, I realized I forgot to flash a very important slide for you.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Which one? Oh, yes. No worries.
Yeah. So for all the viewers out there, so this is something. David, you want to shout out?
Yep. So this is an initiative that is run by our MOH and MSF. It's also supported by MCCY and the National Youth Council. It's an area of concern already pre-COVID, and we think for COVID it will become reinforce the point, the need. So this is something that we want young people to turn to. We have a portal, I think, on Reach. Happy to welcome, take in your feedback and ideas about what we want to do. The idea here is we are going to act on it. So we want to partner and take action as opposed to just hearing feedback and talking about it and discussing it no end. Want to do something tangible. So whether it's during COVID or post-COVID, we want to take action. So it is called Youth Action. It will be an action network, and it will be action-oriented in a sense. So come check it out with us on our website. It's on u.sg. If you don't know where to go to, just write in and we'll link up and we'll find a way to tackle the issue together. Thanks, Desmond, for reminding me.
No, I missed out. I missed out myself too. Yeah. Okay, but now let's get a bit personal. I'm going to throw you a personal question. Yeah.
Sure.
So yourself, how are you affected, and how is your team managing it?
In a big way. Well, but first of all, for myself personally, I already gave up my own office. I don't have an office anymore. I hot desk in my organization. Because I move around a lot. So actually, in a sense, in terms of personal space, working from home is no different uh, from hot desking.
Right.
But I would say that the things that we do and how we do things have changed quite a bit. The things that we do that we don't anticipate having to do, whether it's to now set up a foreign worker dormitory and put in place processes to help the country, the community, and what it means to serve that community. For example, things that we don't ask our staff to do. Things like I've got staff out helping MOH with contact tracing, with planning. Those are things that we are not in their job descriptions. So I
Right.
think we're learning to be flexible and focusing on what it means to have purpose. So for my staff and I, we are adapting very quickly lah. And so the processes also for how we do things and get things going, because we don't have the luxury of time in a situation like this. Time is of the essence, so which means your processes have got to be streamlined. They've got to be rethought, reformatted, or completely thrown out window and you redraw it again.
Right.
So those are what I think I'm going through. I say people are resilient lah, and I think I have hope and optimism for that. Personally, I'm using 3 things to guide myself. One is to do with staying healthy, and not just healthy but fit. How to maintain your fitness. The other one is how to keep your relationships with and especially with your family, strong. And the third one is just learning something new if you can.
Yes. Yeah.
So
like
Go ahead.
ourselves, we learn a lot of new things about because we are a production and marketing, digital media and marketing company, you see. So but live streaming is something that is very much related to esports. And National Youth Council has a esports team, am I right? Was it Skate? That was Skate.
Skate works with esport partners. Yeah.
Work with esports partner, right?
We also do. We also do.
You also do?
We don't own an esport team. I would love to, but
Oh, you
don't have
love
enough
to?
money. No money. Cannot afford.
Yeah, because this esports player, it's so they are very much into the live streaming and everything. So this is the time where they find that, oh, this is my space. Everyone is staying home. I can do my esports, and these are youths and young people. I guess we are I don't think we are that young, but we are learning it.
They're used to being in the virtual space, but not just the e-gamers. You also have all the casters and all the production and the design of how you broadcast or stream a game for an online audience. So those are skills that are relevant not just for the e-game industry or e-sport industry, music, arts, everybody.
Yes.
Even now, I like doing this have to start thinking about these kind of things.
Yeah. Do you know at night we see clubs, they have the DJ.
Yes.
And they spin all the Chinese techno, all the songs, right?
Yeah.
They have more than 5,000, 6,000 viewers every night. I have a friend.
So it's like online disco.
Yeah, it's like an online disco. So
yes.
it's really amazing. I have friends sharing it, and then I realized that a few different friends are sharing the same guy spinning. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is madness. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so having said all this, how about yourself? Sorry, how about your family?
Family, I guess other than my kids learning to do hobby learning, this is my youngest one. The big one that we've felt so far, at least for me and him, is the playgrounds. We really cannot go into the playground. So even when we cycle outside, he like want to stop and go into the playground. I say, hey, cannot, and then it's all cordoned off. So I think for him, he knows about the virus thing, but he doesn't understand the impact until the playground. So I think already a few days, you're a bit tough already. I think come 1 month, not having a playground will be something the young kids all feel. So that's quite something that hits home. So at home become a playground now. I will do things like take cardboard and cut and make him this guardhouse. Recently he had a Zoom playtime with his best friend. So there's a picture of him showing his best friend what he's doing with his soldiers, and then his
Right.
best friend also doing something. Then they trading ideas lah. We didn't know whether it would work lah, but apparently can. So they were at it for 2 hours. So actually can
Oh,
lah. I suppose can.
can, right? Can, yeah. Well,
Then of course,
how are they? Sorry, 5
um,
or
my son Asher, he's 6 years old this year.
6 years
He's
old,
5, 6 this year.
and he's
Yeah.
doing Zoom.
I have to do it for him lah.
Or you do it for him, but he knows
Yeah.
of its
You
existence.
can see the screen lah. You can see his friend.
Right.
Then he just talk lah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I think he's getting used to it because we do that for our grandparents. So where
Oh,
Gong
okay.
or Mama want to talk to him, you have to use FaceTime or some other platform, and then got to talk like that lah. So I think
Understand.
for the very young generation, I think adapting the technology is not too difficult. Our concern
Yeah.
as parents, I suppose, is during this period, the amount of screen time could shoot up a lot, especially if you're running out of ideas about how to keep them engaged at home. And then every other moment they're like, "Hey, daddy, can play with me? Then can I play again?" And it's like non-stop lah. So I can
Yeah.
understand for working parents, can go crazy. Yeah. So not easy. I think we're all scratching our heads about how to keep them gainfully engaged, and at the same time still learning something, and at the same time not always going onto a virtual site, whether it's to watch a movie or to go and Zoom and whatever lah. Even for my teenagers, there's a lot of time playing games. So
Yeah.
trying to strike a balance. So actually, the family has got to institute new routines.
Which is
Wife and I,
painful.
can be.
Can be, right?
Actually, not true. The thinking about what to do can be painful, but I think once you have one or two things. So, for example, we are deciding now to at least maybe prepare a meal together once a week.
With the
And so
kids.
with the kids, and so we did it yesterday for the first time. So 4 p.m. everybody stop what they're doing, and then we come down. My wife is the commander, and then she will decide, okay, you go and wash the vegetable, you go and cut this, and then you tell me, you go and marinate the meat.
So you're the RSM. You become the RSM.
I just take orders. Yeah. So we do, then we cook together, and then after that we eat together lah. And it's okay. Actually, it's quite fun.
Right.
I mean, every day will be different lah, but I think once in a while you do things like that. So there are practical ways of putting in place your own practice as a family. It doesn't have to be cooking; it can be something else.
Right. Oh, we have Arthur. I think you should know Arthur. Yeah, Arthur said, "Great."
Maybe Arthur has got some ideas for us too. I always keen to get more ideas, because by next week, maybe third week, they say, "Hey, don't want to cook together already. You want to do something else?"
No, Arthur will tell you to play percussion. Is that it? Yeah.
Actually, music is a great thing. So yesterday was it 2 days ago, for the first time, we took out our ukulele in a very long while, and we started to exchange some chords. So I think we're going to try and train some of my younger kids to at least refresh their ukulele skills.
Okay.
Yeah, for myself, also learn.
You also learning it or refresh? For yourself, you're learning from them.
For me, I'm more guitar guy, so actually I have to learn. I have to relearn for ukulele.
As long as you know guitar, it's quite easy lah. Easy for you to pick up. Yeah. I had my first. My daughter cooked the first breakfast for me during this circuit. First ever. So she was asking me that night, and do this bread. So she put it into not like cooking lesson and sharing with the viewers how to make this butter bread. So she was dipping it into the butter, not the whole thing, dipping it into the eggs and then putting the butter on it, and after frying it and then frying another egg. I don't know how she did it, but it was awesome. So it's like, but she wanted to eat on her own, so she made extras for us. It's a good thing. I think this circuit breaker might turn out good for a lot of people. Oh, we have Dylan. Dylan is in with us as well. He said nice.
Oh, Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Yeah,
I know Dylan.
So Dylan,
Yeah, Dylan's also doing some good work. I think for the
Yes.
community. Yeah.
In fact, after I wouldn't mind sharing with you. So a huge shout out to Dylan. After he found out about this program, because I actually invited him to be for us as one of the speakers. So he was asking us about like who's funding us, who's doing this. I told him that this whole project is actually funded by ourselves, our own money and everything. And yeah, so then he said, all right, he's going to come in to try to fund us some, share some load. And it's really wonderful, wonderful. He's saying hello. He's saying hi to you.
Yes.
Hey, Dylan, you have
Yes.
anything to ask David? He's here live. We need any heart-burning issues that David can answer. Yeah.
Don't
Enough.
worry, lah. He will have a lot of questions, and we always we keep in touch. So
Ah, yeah.
no, but Dylan,
Wonder.
thanks for coming in to help Desmond and gang also. I think this is great, and resilience building is always something we should think about in periods like this. It's an opportunity we shouldn't waste.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, David, one
Yes.
personal, another. I have a lot of personal questions for you. Sorry, this is getting
Go ahead.
too personal. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so now, sorry, not. What is your greatest wish now?
Uh, honestly, it is to go to a playground with my kid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's a much more personal one.
Right.
The larger wish is that we all come out of this a much stronger country. And I mentioned also maybe a much more forgiving and friendly community. Yeah.
Right.
I hope that this one will teach us a bit more about our humanity and ourselves and how we treat one another and how we can keep Singapore going.
Yep. Yeah, I think that is something that I would hope for as well. So there was this once I was before the circuit breaker. Okay, before circuit breaker, so we were at NTUC, but the safety distancing measures already took place. So I was at an NTUC. There was this two lady right behind me. So after I bought my groceries, I was about to leave, and then this lady at the back of the first lady. So imagine the first one, then second one, right?
Yeah.
So she shouted at the lady in front, like, no, don't worry, no virus, no virus. It's because the first lady actually turned back to ask her to keep the safety 1 meter distancing.
Oh.
Yeah, to stand behind the yellow line. So the lady behind got offended. She was wearing a mask, but she got offended. So she was shouting like, don't overreact, shouting at the first lady. The first lady calmly bought her groceries. She walked off. And then she turned around and said very calmly, she warned the crowd. Really, she warned the crowd. She said to the lady behind, I'm not overreacting. I'm just playing it safe and abiding, following the regulations that has been rolled out to keep everyone safe. And then so everyone in the supermarket was was shocked, and then everyone was total silence. Everyone knew who's right and who's wrong. Yeah, so I think it's something interesting that I've seen lah.
Yeah, Dylan has a question, right? He's asking whether the National Youth Fund will be reduced due to the current economy landscape. I will categorically say no. Actually, our funding, we are fast tracking those that are more COVID-19 related. The team is turning around the allocation of funds to support organizations and young people that are coming out with initiatives to help with the situation. Even on the not the National Youth Council side, on the different ministries side where the grants and different schemes apply, there are special categories and special fast track criteria being given now. So yeah, if you all need access or you need more information, just let me know. But we are not shrinking, and we are not. We're giving it actually more priority. Yeah. So hopefully that encourages you.
Yeah. Okay. So any other questions from the viewers? I think most of the viewers are asleep now. No? I don't know. Or whether they might be preparing dinner. Yeah.
No, they should be up and about doing their things,
Yeah.
helping with their family or maybe exercising, and that's okay. Yeah. So for those who are maybe viewing the content later on, I just want to say, hang in there. Uh, I'm encouraged by what I see, and I hope you are too. And I think I just probably also want to. Uh, are we ending off now, Desmond, or something?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I tell you a secret. If I don't end by 5, right, my wife is not going to cook. She
Okay.
told me
Okay.
specifically, if I cannot do anything by 5, I will not cook. Okay, I will end
Can
by 5.
understand.
Yes, boss.
Yeah. Actually, I have to
Yeah.
go and play with my son also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is the problem with having to stay home and
yeah.
working from home.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not a problem. It's a pleasure, and
Mm.
yeah. But I just
Yeah.
want to tell everybody the 3 R's again. Yeah, be responsible, stay relevant, and most importantly, stay resolute. So responsible, relevant,
Responsible,
resolute.
relevant, resolute.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great.
Thank you.
So David, thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed this session. Let's have coffee together after this whole thing is over, and we can.
Absolutely. Or we have coffee online afterwards. Another
Online
day.
coffee.
Another day.
I think I can tell Zibun that I owe Zibun coconut
Also
coconut
you
drink.
can find your
Yeah.
coconut.
I tell you, online coconut lah. Okay, Ken.
Thank you
All
again.
right. So
It's good to
yeah.
have you and be on your show.
Yes, thank you so much. So for the viewers, tomorrow who do we have up? If you are into esports or if you are into live streaming or if you are into digital marketing, tomorrow will be the time to actually tune in at 4 p.m. because we have with us from Malaysia, a very huge esports company called Orange Esports, which has done very well in Malaysia, Cambodia, and so on and so forth. So he is very in tune and in line. The group managing director will be on air with us, and then he will be sharing a lot of the new live streaming devices and systems, and also how digital marketing is actually evolving through esports and how esports is going to grow in this very stage where everyone is struggling with going out, events are being cancelled and stuff like this. So we look forward to having all of you with us again. And once again, thank you, David. Yep. So we shall say a big goodbye to everyone. Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.